That was the first crack. At the promotion meeting, I smiled, polite, composed, and said, "I can't wait for my raise." My husband, my boss, leaned back in his chair and laughed. "Raise? Oh no, I gave it to Hazel." The room went still. HR smiled awkwardly. Hazel crossed her legs, glossy lips curling. "Forgot to mention it," she said. "Forgot to mention it." HR confirmed I wasn't even considered. That afternoon, I packed my desk. My colleagues avoided my eyes like guilt was contagious. But it wasn't anger that filled me, it was clarity. They thought they'd humiliated me. They thought I'd go quietly. They were wrong. Back then, I met him 8 years ago, before the corner office, before the glass walls and fake smiles. He was charming, the kind of man who made you feel like you were seen, not watched. We built the company together, or so I thought. I wrote the pitch decks, drafted contracts, held his hand through every crisis. He proposed after we landed our first client. We toasted in the office kitchen. I believed it meant we were partners, in business, in life. But power changes people, slowly, quietly, like rust under paint. It started with Hazel. She was a bright hire, new to the company, quick with compliments, slower with results. He said she reminded him of me when I was younger. The first time I heard it, I laughed. The 10th time, I didn't. I saw her handwriting on his notes, her perfume on his jacket, her lipstick shade, the one I bought, on his coffee cup. Still, I waited. I watched. When betrayal comes from the person you built your world with, you don't react. You study. Discovery. The night I found proof, it wasn't dramatic. No hotel receipt, no text message. It was worse. I logged into the shared company server to finalize a budget sheet. A folder named Personal. Inside, an invoice for jewelry, emerald earrings, paid with the company card, approved by him, delivered to her address. That was the moment something inside me unhooked. Not rage, not sorrow, just a switch. He thought he could mix business and betrayal and keep the books clean. He forgot who did the books. The shift. The next morning, I went to work as usual. Calm, efficient, invisible. That's the best way to disappear. Not by vanishing, but by blending in until nobody sees you anymore. For the next 3 weeks, I documented everything. Expense reports, meeting minutes, emails, every accidental purchase, every transfer. I copied files onto a secure drive, created backups, paper trails. I didn't just want to leave. I wanted to take the floor out from under them, legally, quietly, beautifully. While he was busy taking Hazel to lunch, I was meeting with an attorney. Not for divorce, not yet, for ownership. The company, you see, was registered in both our names. But he'd violated ethical clauses, misused funds, favoritism, non-disclosure breaches. Enough for a forced removal. I didn't plan revenge. I planned justice, with better packaging. Execution. 2 days after I cleared my desk, I filed the complaint. Not anonymously, not emotionally, just surgically. I submitted evidence to the board and HR, itemized, time-stamped, airtight. It wasn't just about the affair. It was corporate misconduct, fraud, favoritism, abuse of power. Then I disappeared. No calls, no texts, silence. People underestimate silence. It makes others fill in the blanks and panic when they realize you've written the ending for them. By the end of the week, the company froze his access. Internal audit, emergency board meeting. Hazel's promotion paused pending investigation. He called me 16 times, left messages that swung between fury and begging. "We can fix this," he said. "You're overreacting." No, I wasn't. I was finishing. The confrontation. They called me back in 2 weeks later, a mandatory arbitration. Conference room, Long table. HR, legal counsel, the board chair. He was there, looking smaller than I remembered. Hazel sat beside him, pale, no makeup this time. When they asked for my statement, I spoke simply. I didn't come for an apology, I said. I came for closure. Then I opened my folder and laid out the evidence. Every document, every timestamp, every transaction with her name. He didn't look at me, just stared at the papers like they were written in a language he used to know. When the board asked if I wanted to remain in my position, I smiled. No, I'm resigning. But I'll be taking my share of the company value, as stipulated. They agreed. Legally, they had to. Hazel started to cry, not because of guilt, but because she realized her promotion was gone, her job was gone, and the man she bet on had just lost everything. As I stood to leave, he whispered, "You ruined me." I leaned in, calm, steady. "No, you did that. I just wrote the report." The aftermath.